So what we're going to do here is we're going to pull up the actual complaint. And we're going to start at the factual allegations. It's a little bit of a flashbang, guys, because it's a PowerPoint. So obviously it's white. So you're going to get a little bit of a flashbang. But here you go. This is the document. We're going to read through it. I've already gone through the procedure here and the venue and the parties. You guys know Roblox is, a company. So let's read through some of the factual allegations that I think are really relevant here today. So one of the biggest ones is that it's got 6.4 million experiences. So it's very, very, very big, and that they have complete control over those experiences. So they can handle age verification, warnings, age restrictions, all of that, policies, rules. That's all controlled by Roblox. They fully control that. They don't outsource that. That's not something that they, at least as far as we know. They don't send that off to, another country to deal with. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But the point of the matter is it's under their control, right? There's no independent agency that can come in there and shut down Roblox experiences. It's easily accessible, including to children as young as 6 years old. It's free to download and play. Free to download and play on gaming consoles, computers, tablets, and can be easily set up with a child in a matter of minutes without a parent. Very, very important. It markets itself as the #1 gaming site for kids and teens, and it claims it's a gateway to learning, and it offers high-quality, standards-aligned, immersive educational experiences. So it literally is showing you, hey, this is learning, right? This is for kids, and it's marketing, right? It's showing people that are minors, right, in their own marketing. They exploded during the pandemic, where they started with roughly 31 million, right, during the pandemic, more than half of which are under 13, making it the world's biggest recreational zone for kids. The growth continued unabated until their latest report, which has about 83 million, 82.9, 83 million active users. Here's the kicker, guys. Get these numbers. 20% are under 9. But when you add this up, 20 plus 20 plus 16, what is that? Now, my math ain't so good. That's 56% of people are minors. 56% of people on this platform are minors. Today, Roblox is the most downloaded game globally. Most downloaded game globally. This is a massive problem. Users of any age, there is no age minimum can sign up. And they do not verify age. They use self-reporting. This is insane. Especially for things that is majority minors, to use a self-reporting system with no backup to get into this. Because you can have people walk right into this just by saying they're a minor. Now they're magically a minor, right? Children, although defendant states that children should have parental permission, they do not have any safety features. So they don't have to contact or confirm with parents. They could easily make this so that, hey, when you sign up, the parent has to submit an ID, right? For the kid, they have to have a biometrics, et cetera. There's something where they have to verify, to age verify into this. Right? We have the technology. It's not impossible to do. They could make this happen. So they do nothing to confirm anything. So anyone can sign up. They have access to biometric age verification that requires a photo ID. However, they choose not to use this for age verification or sign up. And they're aware that users create accounts using fake birthdays. Everyone's done this. Look, I remember back in the day, when I was trying to access stuff, I had like a fake email that when I was young growing up on the internet, I had a fake email that I used to sign up for stuff. That was way back in the day. Everyone's done it. And there's been times in which I'm signing up for an email. I'm lazy. So I said I was born in 1901 just because I'm like, well, I'll remember that. Okay. I don't want to scroll down. Look, there's that's harmless or relatively versus this that is very much harmful, where you're getting people that are entering into this, and they are, you doing this to enter essentially a playground, right? After creating their assigned default avatar, obviously you guys know what avatars are. There are a bunch of experiences in the game of all different types, right? This is crazy. Prior to November 2024, When a child created an account, the default setting was for parental protections to be off. As a result, if a child made their own account and listed their age as 13 or older, then any experience was available. Further, until 2024, the default setting allowed adults to easily communicate with children. They could friend and DM, private message, a child. And even then, even now, today, they can still message within experiences. They can still, once an adult lures a child into an experience, they can message them. Also, you've got Robux. Oh, Robux. So Robux is their digital currency for the online platform. So children frequently become obsessed with purchasing items on Robux for their avatars, like a new hairdo or a new, whatever style clothes. So what people do is, for example, a child predator used a quote unquote company in there to sell rare items at astronomical prices, which the children seek to purchase to keep up with or outdo their peers. As a result, children often tell others, including strangers, that they will do anything for Robux. That is not good. That is not good. Sorry, in this case, this was actually, Robux's avatar store. But the point is that child predators use this to lure people in. Right? Oh, you can't pay with Robux. Okay, I've got this other way you'll pay. Right? It's like, this is really dark. They've represented repeatedly that they're safe, and they've called themselves an online virtual playground where all kids can play and interact and have fun. They've called themselves a playground. So this is something where, they've admitted what they are, but they're not acting like they should. So they continue to promise parents, we take every precaution available to make kids are properly protected from inappropriate and offensive individuals, as well as from indecent and distasteful content. Every protection. Meet Roblox's strip club experience, right? Strip club experience. Oh, it gets worse. They say they have a zero tolerance for swearing, obscenity, messages of a sexual or violent nature, or aggressive or threatening communication. And they say that they immediately suspend or expel any offenders. That's a lie. That's a lie. Right? They advertise as family friendly. Right? They say it's a safe, moderated place to meet, collaborate, and have creative products. Right? They say safety is in our DNA. They say they won't allow language that harasses or discriminates or incites violence. Well, they have some very interesting experiences. I mean, obviously, this one kind of speaks for itself here. And here is the Roblox sex simulation experience, which I'm not going to read this, but there's a call me daddy here. Like, okay. And I'm not even going to read this, but you guys can read this, especially this about Hello Kitty here. You guys can read this sort of language here. This person just hung out, was not banned, right? Like just happening in chat. The vice president of civilian partnerships doubled down on promises in parenting magazines and news and podcasts, all aimed at persuading parents to let their children use Roblox. She contacted international online safety experts in an effort to sell Roblox safety story. The funny thing is, the very same people are on the board of the safety organizations. The safety organizations that they talk about, oh, they're so safe. They're on the board and also in Roblox. It's what we call industry capture. So right here, they're saying parents, in response to safety concerns, Roblox notes the platform was designed for kids and teens from the beginning, and we're committed to making safety a priority. This continues to be our most important priority, and that will never change. Clearly, that was a lie. Clearly, that was a lie. They talk about incredible moderation. All that stuff, once again, being a top priority for safety and civility, etc. Removing bad actors immediately. Well, we got another experience here. Just hanging out. Public bathroom simulator. Yeah. Rated ages 9 and up for public bathroom simulator with 2.1 million visits. Right? Yeah, how'd your moderation go there? How'd your moderation go there? Let's continue here. So they keep talking about how safe they are. This is all this proof. They went on NPR talking about how safe they are. They made public safety statements saying how safe they are. There's a ton of evidence that Roblox repeatedly said, we're safe, we're safe, we're safe, we're safe, we're safe. But when there's that saying, the lady doth protest too much, when you keep saying it so much, where it's too much, it raises a question, right? It definitely raises a question. The campaign of reassurance masks the truth. Far from creating a safe place for children, Roblox designed, built, and maintains Roblox that lacks safety features to protect children from predators and lacks warning for parents and children. The end result, through its failure to implement adequate safety, and failure to provide notice, provides the perfect place for PDFs. And I'm not talking about Adobe here. I'm not talking about Adobe. Okay. Here's another one. I think you guys can just read this. I mean, once again, hanging out in Roblox, family friendly, right? Another contributing factor is the failure to require age-appropriate designations on experiences. Defendant intentionally or knowingly designed Roblox without requiring age-appropriate designations on experiences in order to increase the number of uses per experience for increasing revenue. Instead, the option of all ages can be selected by the experience creator, giving children access to highly inappropriate experiences such as Escape from Epstein Island, which is Escape to Epstein Island. The title that directly references one of the locations where Jeffrey Epstein trafficked minors and other non-consenting individuals so he and others could sexually and physically abuse them. This was in the all ages category. All ages category, Escape to Epstein Island. You cannot make this up. You can't make it up. Like, are you serious? And like, once again, this is something that shouldn't, like, as a keyword, when somebody tried to name it that, you should have not allowed that name, right? First and foremost. But beyond that, that should immediately have gone to somebody, okay, we're banning this person permanently. We're like IP banning this person from the platform. We might even notify law enforcement. I mean, this is something that, once again, a very sick individual made. Because Roblox is deceptive to children, children are exposed to this graphic sexual material, and existing safety features are woefully inadequate. Their chat filtering feature is designed to filter inappropriate content and personal information on accounts 12 and younger, but is less restrictive by accounts age 13. However, filters easily bypass obscuring text with alphanumeric combinations, e.g. D1DDY P13NS. And I think we all don't need to be that intelligent to understand the lead speak here, as we called it back in the day, the lead speak, right? I think we all know what this is, and I all know what that they're trying to say, right? So the fact that even simple stuff like this, which if they're just not lazy, could filter that out. Nope. Not only does permanent workaround, but also allows players to circumvent filters to request and provide links to external chat services. While the experience on Roblox are created by developers, the tools used by developers are ones the defendant designs, controls, and makes available to third parties. However, Roblox has control in which the tools are used and has the ability to place limitations and restrictions on them. Instead, however, over the years, Roblox has grossly inefficient safety controls and safeguards. As early as 2010, 15 years ago, they devolved into hosting and promoting explicit content. Their scripting language allows developers to manipulate avatar ability interactions any way they want and to create scenarios where avatars are engaging in simulated sexual activity. This simulated sexual activity pervades Roblox, as Roblox knows there have been numerous reports of children's avatars being, and I'm not going to say this word, you guys can read it, by others' avatars. For example, in 2018, a 7-year-old girl's avatar was violently assaulted by 2 male avatars on a playground in a Roblox experience, which was witnessed by the girl's mother. This is some sick stuff. In describing the aftermath of this traumatic experience, the girl's mother explained, "I never in my wildest dreams would have ever imagined I would have to talk with my 7-year-old about SA," right? Guys, one said, you were wondering whether this is why this is huge. This has the examples here. It has a citation. This is a footnote. Like, this is a real thing that happened. This is not, somebody worrying about some fake thing. And I understand there's a lot of people out there on the internet that worry too much. Kind of like concern trolling or whatever else. Like, they're like overly concerned about stuff that's like a non-issue. I understand that's a thing. I do get it. This is real, right? This is very real. It's not something that's made up or fake or whatever else. Roblox hosts a staggering number of experiences centered on sexual activity, including children can play in condo games, predatory digital environments, including houses where they can remove their clothing, revealing nudity, and engage in disturbing experiences such as the public bathroom simulator. A recent investigative report exposed a number of exploitative experiences that recklessly trivialize and gamify serious criminal conduct, including SA. They report that the Roblox has hosted 600 Diddy games with titles like Survive Diddy, Run from Diddy, and Diddy Party. We've got them all down here. Well, some of them down here. Escape Freaky Diddy, or Freaky Party. Survive Diddy in Area 51, The Road to Diddy's, Diddy Party, Freaky Diddy Simulator, Official Diddy, Midnight at the Diddy Party, Diddy Simulator, Nice Try Diddy, Diddy Party, Freaky Diddy, Survive Diddy, Diddy's World, and Diddy Survival. A lot of Diddy here. There is more than 900 accounts displaying variations of convicted trafficker Jeffrey Epstein's name, such as Jeff Epstein supporter. Defendant also hosted on servers games like Escape to Epstein Island and other similar experiences. They're deceptive in a myriad of ways, including lack of age verification. So any kid can get into this. They are fully aware of the gross nature of the experiences that pervade Roblox, and they're unchecked despite their ability to control them. Leaked internal documents. This is a big one. Leaked internal documents reveal that they not only actively monitored it, but made decisions such as how big of a bulge was acceptable. And with the introduction of layered clothing for avatars, whether players could be nude. They made this decision themselves. They knew, according to legal documents. They knew. This is where the executives, people talking about the executives. This is where the executives get called in. This is where, once again, we still need more discovery. But this is the real bad part. The interactive nature of these games amplifies the effect. Unlike passive media, video games require players to actively participate in behaviors, including those that simulate harassment or exploitation, reinforcing the perception that sub-actions are normal or desirable. It not only desensitizes children, but makes them more likely to replicate in the real world and susceptible to grooming techniques. Exactly. This is not limited to online games. The basic search for adult in Roblox revealed 334 members openly trading CP, and soliciting acts from minors. You guys can read this. Here. Public wall chat for a group named Adult Studios, where they openly solicited SA on the platform. Defendant is knowingly and recklessly hosting, enabling, facilitating the creation and distribution of graphic content. Roblox has been designed to facilitate the creation and distribution of content by providing tools and software designed to make virtual videos between avatars on Roblox. These videos are clearly marked with the RBXL file extension. Defendant's proprietary file format established this content was created within Roblox. Moreover, on X videos, a pornographic website, Roblox users seek out other users to simulate acts with and seemingly innocuous games like Brookhaven, which is one of their most popular experiences available to all ages. In sum, Roblox that Roblox designed hosts, enables, and contradicts its reputations as a safe gaming service for minor children. For years, they've known about this, and they've recklessly allowed it to serve as a conduit for child predators to find, groom, abuse, and exploit children. Roblox creates an environment where children are susceptible to being groomed by predators without any warning or safeguard. Roblox knowingly and recklessly invites predators to have unsupervised access to tens of millions of children and allows predators to freely move between inappropriate sexualized content and popular games to identify and target vulnerable children. Defendants' failure to implement adequate safeguards and failure to provide notice of the danger for children knowing predators are utilizing it recklessly, indifferent to the fundamental obligation not to create and foster an environment that places children at significant risk of exploitation and abuse. Guys, it's nuts. It's really nuts. And you can see right here too, scrolling down a little bit, where this is a pattern where a predator misrepresents their age, cosplays as a child, and befriends a child and strategically manipulates them to move their conversation to other apps such as Snapchat or Discord. Add me on PANS, read it backward. Okay. Right? Demonstration of how easy it was for a 42-year-old account to find a child user on Roblox and get the child to move the conversation to Snapchat. That easy. That easy. Oh, this is a good one. This is a good quote too here. The predators weren't just lurking outside the world's largest virtual playground. They were hanging from the jungle gym, using Roblox to lure kids into sending photographs or developing relationships that move to other online platforms and eventually offline. This conduct is being done openly on Roblox. Openly. And, it obviously is going to escalate. It obviously is going to be taken off that platform. And they're going to, end up in a place where they're allowing them to, to interact with these children in highly inappropriate ways. And the fact that people like Schlep are able to find them just shows, hey, they're out there, right? And these people are being arrested, they're being convicted. So there's clearly enough proof, right? There's not a lack of proof that this stuff is going on. I want to read this part here. This is very important here. It's on page 36. So this part here, defendant also engaged in a deceptive public relations campaign using the ostensibly independent online safety organizations to influence the narrative around these changes. For instance, defendant has leveraged its ties to groups like the Family Online Safety Institute, FOSSI. Oh, that sounds great, right? FOSSI. That sounds like they're really going to look out for the family, right? That sounds like they're really going to protect them. Wrong. They endorsed Roblox as a win for child safety. What the article omitted is that Roblox's own vice president, we talked about it before, Tammy, is the board chair of the Family Online Safety Institute. The chair of the institute, with an obvious conflict of interest. They manipulate public perception by using seemingly independent safety organizations as mouthpieces to shape the narrative. Something they completely control themselves, something that they 100% have power over, and they know they can shape the narrative. Let me get this one too. There's another good one here. So they've tried to block people from going to Snapchat and Discord, right? However, what they're using is grossly inadequate and insufficient to protect children. For example, defendant's filters have inexplicable omissions. While the defendant blocks certain words like snap or Snapchat to supposedly prevent offline participations, it allows workarounds like the use of the ghost emoji, which is widely recognized as a symbol for Snapchat, or alternative spellings like snappy or app chat. Similarly, while the word Discord is blocked, users can bypass it by using the disc emoji or by variations like Iscord or Cord. The defendant selectively blocks the word Snap, Snapchat, and Discord, revealing the defendant is fully aware of the dangers of off-product inappropriate communications, yet chooses not to close these loopholes. While the defendant prevents users from sharing phone numbers in numerical format, it does nothing to stop users from spelling out the numbers. Crazy. They intentionally and knowingly have ineffective safeguards in place, allowing experiences to be removed and re-uploaded immediately from a new account, perpetuating a cycle of explicit and harmful content. External groups have capitalized on their weak moderation by guiding predators to re-upload games, with Fast Company identifying 150 Discord groups dedicated to exploiting their lack of enforcement. So they know the loopholes. The people that are into this are far savvier than the moderators can't keep up. Look at this. The company employs a woefully inadequate number of human moderators to analyze and manage content. With only about 3,000 moderators, the defendant pales in comparisons to platforms like TikTok, which despite having only 3 times the number of users, employs more than 10 times the moderators at 40,000 moderators. Defendant attempts to justify this disparity by claiming you can't really judge the quality of these moderation systems by the number of people. But the reality tells a different story. Defendant's mods, many of whom are overseas contractors, reported being overwhelmed by an unmanageable volume of child safety reports, making it impossible to address all the concerns and leaving safety. So not only are they overseasing this, so they're working on like very low labor rates, but they don't even have enough. They're not even hiring enough, right? More moderation costs money, so let's not do that. Okay, let's get to the law. First cause of action: violating the Louisiana Unfair Trade Practices Act, looped up. Now remember, every state has one of these. They vary slightly, but I will tell you right now, every state can bring one of these claims if they want to. Every single one of the 50 states of the United States. So the plaintiff, Louisiana, on behalf of itself and its citizens, including minor children, seeks injunctive relief, which means stopping them from doing the thing, damages, meaning money, restitution money, and other equitable relief, such as disgorgement, fees, costs, and penalties against defendant under the Louisiana Unfair Trade Practices Act. Plaintiff, that is Louisiana, maintains that defendant, Roblox, businesses practices described above, including the inadequate safety controls and failure to provide notice of the risk of predators, were and are deceptive, unfair, unscrupulous, oppressive, contrary to established public policy, and substantially injurious to the public, including minor children and their parents, in violation of the act, including but not limited to who used and made purchases on Roblox. Citizens who purchased or allowed their minor children to make purchases are consumers under LUPTA. The state of Louisiana is a person under LUPTA. Citizens are engaged in consumer transactions under LUPTA. I believe that that's correct procedurally. Defendant repeated and continuing violations of LUPTA include, but are not limited to, developing and marketing Roblox that lack safeguards and warning to protect children from predators, with the intention of upping usership and in-game purchases. Falsely and deceptively marketing and advertising Roblox by misrepresenting Roblox as safe for children, when in fact it is not. Directing conduct at minor children through defendant's advertising and marketing. Omitting and concealing and suppressing material facts in the advertising and marketing of Roblox as related to the risk of child predators. Defendant's unfair practices and acts led consumers to falsely believe it is safe for children. Defendant knew that leaving this impression and knew it was false. They developed it knowing it was dangerous for child users because it would increase subs and purchases. And at the end of the day, what did the company care about? Money. It's going to increase money. Money, money, money. They manipulated the public, including children, into using Roblox and making in-game purchases. That's not out, and that harm is not outweighed by the benefit that was given there, which is unethical and against public policy and constitutes unfair acts and practices. So all of this together is an unfair trade practice. Okay. So they're asking for injunctive relief. They're asking for damages. But the next one, this one, is negligence and public nuisance. This is great because public nuisance, once again, is used for stuff like dangerous playgrounds, dangerous pools, very comparable. So they're going to give the same facts. But the difference here is they say they lacked inadequate safety controls and failure to provide notice of the risk of predators, which is a public nuisance, and gives rise to the claim. And they give the same facts, right? They give the same facts, right? So just failing to hire moderators, failing to prevent failing to prevent registered sex offenders from making accounts, failing to require parental consent for minors, failing to ban user-to-user messages for accounts under the age of 13, failing to take any reasonable corrective measures whatsoever regarding the abuse of the interface until its financial success was threatened through a stock short sale. Yeah, they're factoring that in. Yeah, see, who brought up the stock? They're factoring in the stock. The stock is factored in. Third cause, unjust enrichment. They allege all the same things, but they say they knowingly sold or caused Roblox to be sold to the citizens of Louisiana in a manner that was unfair, unconscionable, and oppressive. As a result of the wrongful conduct, they're not entitled to the funds. So because of that, they're asking for them to stop violating the law, which pretty much means stop operating. Next, to represent, they have to stop saying Roblox is safe. They have to stop saying Roblox is safe. That's massive. And then pay all the money. Damages, civil penalties, reimburse them for legal fees, everything else. They're going to go for a jury trial, which I think is appropriate. This needs to be a jury trial, and it's signed by the State Attorney General of Louisiana.